So new things are happening, it seems like.
Analysis. It is the ruin of a former human residential area.
New things
Large
are
numbers of
happening.
humans resided
A
in
god
such
appeared before the
concrete
whoop
and
machines, huh?
shelters. The structures were referred to by names such as apartment complex.
The heck is
I
an
wonder why
apartment
they insisted
complex?
on living in such large groups. Things must have been really dangerous around here, huh?
Negative.
It can be.
Living conditions were mandated by economic imbalance.
It depends
and
on
a
where
lack
you
of
live,
space.
though.
Man, humans sure are weird creatures.
Yeah, I agree there. Ooh, hey, yoink the thing, please. I got mail. Torn book obtained.
Mail notification received from access point.
Okay, I'll go get that from the access point. I'll continue telling the story I was just telling in a hot second here. But let's go read our mail first, because if I start telling it now, I'm just gonna have to be interrupted by the mail here, you know. So let's see here. Inbox first, and then is there new things for the INS? Something I forgot to mention prior to your sortie. According to our analysis team, the equipment that was lost when breaking into the abandoned factory is still there, marked in estimated location, so be sure to pick it up. Attention all androids, thousands of years passed since we humans were driven to the moon, and while the war remains deadlocked, note that our continued safety is only possible thanks to your valiant efforts on the ground. We ask you to continue giving your all in the mission of capturing Earth from the scourge of the machines. Yeah, I don't buy it. And this is a scheduled correspondence from your members. If you have a problem, respond. If you don't have a problem, no response is needed. Well, what if you have a problem and you didn't get the email? Anyway, so at this gathering with, you know, a bunch of old friends and stuff, as it was getting late, it was already, like, probably 3 in the morning at this point, where we decided to put on, like, a spooky movie on Netflix. And since a couple people in the group were apparently afraid of the ocean, the group was like, oh yeah, let's put on, like, a spooky shark movie. And the movie that we ended up settling on was called, if I recall, 47 Meters Under Uncaged. Apparently was a sequel. Apparently there was just that without the uncaged part is, like, the original. Supposedly. I'd never seen any of that before. I typically don't watch horror movies or anything like that. But it was a movie about, like, this group of teenagers that are like, oh, let's go diving and explore these ruins, but oh no, a wall collapses and traps them in, and now they gotta find, like, some other exit route, while sharks are hunting them in these
Target
old,
confirmed.
like, Mayan ruins or something. Mayan ruins, Aztec ruins, something in that area. Oh, I'm doing great, thank you for asking. And, you know, I don't typically watch horror movies, but my opinion of that, my goodness, it was so boring. Like, it had to have been one of the most boring movies I think I've ever seen. Because it was on, like, diving and exploring these ruins and stuff. There were so many just long shots of swimming around doing nothing. And, like, the picture quality wasn't all that great. It was, like, blurry underwater, and there was, like, you know, dust all over the place, too. When there isn't even anything spooky going on, when they're just swimming around. So for, like, minutes on end will go by of just, like, drawn-out swimming shot after drawn-out swimming shot without any character saying anything. It was, like, so insanely boring. And the only, like, times that it would actually get, like, kind of spooky was just, like, cheap jump scare after cheap jump scare. And, like, they reused the same kind of shot over and over again. Of, like, oh no, the shark is starting to chase them. But they make it into, like, a narrow corridor that the shark can't fit through. And the shark, like, shoves its head into that corridor and is, like, chomping away as the characters are swimming away. And, you know, it can't fit through. I swear, I saw that same type of shot, like, 3 times. Of them getting through a corridor that the shark couldn't fit through. And it just continues to chomp at the entrance. It's like, my goodness, can you change things up, maybe? But, you know, at that point late at night, you know, everyone else in the group, you know, was really tired, had quite a bit to drink, and everyone was just kind of, like, passed out drunk. I was still there. Like, I was starting to get a little bit sleepy, but I was still there just, like, fully awake on the side. So, you know, I don't know if it was around the halfway part of the movie or how far I was in. But I didn't finish watching it there. Everyone else was just conked out anyway, so eventually I just grabbed my Switch bag and I just went home and stuff. And got, you know, messages in the group chat after getting home sometime later. People were like, wait, how the heck did he sneak out? When did he even leave? You know? So there was that. I was like, I used them to take one of their ninja skills or something or other. But yeah, so in case anyone wants a just insanely boring horror movie to watch, just watch that, I guess. Like, my goodness. Like, I know that it was late, and part of my tiredness was probably due to, like, how late it was in the night at that point. But I feel like it had to have been like a strong contributing factor to my tiredness. It was just so dang boring. It's been a long time since I watched a movie that boring. And I was a little bit curious, though. I was like, I don't think I can bring myself to sit through, like, watching the rest of this. But, like, you know, now it's like, I'm invested just enough that I kind of want to know how it ends. So when I got home, I just looked it up on Wikipedia. And it ends basically the way that you would think that it would. Like, as typically as typically as it could. I was like, okay, well, ended typically. I was just curious if it would end typically or do something crazy different. Nope. Just the typical kind of way there.
These words.
Apparently, it had like a pretty decent budget behind it, but from the parts that I was seeing, like the CGI was not great at all. It looked like it was being rendered on like late PS2 or early PS3,
They were killed by
is
local
what it kind of
machine
seemed
life
like in some of the
What
shots.
are they doing here?
Some of them were pretty good, but you
It's
know,
like they were gathered.
there was a
here.
couple that really stood out as like, oof, that does not look great. You know,
There it goes.
that's the case. All right. Run. Alright, so there's this that happens where there's Adam that's born first. I don't actually know which of the two is born first, but if we're going by, like, biblical lore, like, Adam first.
Multiple machines detected ahead. But
Only
what's with
reason
these
why I'm
android
familiar with, like, that
bodies?
kind of level
Stay
of
focused.
biblical lore, though, is, is my understanding of the body in the Middle Ages history class that I did this past semester, honestly. And talking about that. Namely, in our lectures that we did, well, it wasn't lectures, it was a seminar-based course, but in our classes where we would talk about pain and the understanding of pain. And we talked about how
What is this?
people back then would have seen pain as, like, a thing that could be understood by even early on humans. Because, you know, back then, the way that oh my goodness, I'm floating slightly. The way that people were seeing things in, like, Western society was by, like, a religious kind of standpoint. They were seeing that as just, like, fact and things that happened.
Let's take them
And
out.
they would have understood pain as a thing that would have been going on even since, like, the very first humans. Because apparently Adam had to be put under before a rib could be taken out of him and turned into Eve, as we see with this Adam and Eve. Well, that's not what we see with this Adam and Eve, but we see, like, the Eve bro coming out of the Adam bro in this thingamabob. Anyway. So interesting little thingamabob there that I learned from that class. The more you know, I suppose. The more you know. Wow. Ow! Ouch. Like, nowadays, we obviously know about things like evolution and know that, you know, pain would have been part of humans' existence as long as humans have been around, obviously. But, you know, back then in the medieval period, that was the lens through which people would have understood it. In Western society, that is. At least. Is the case. Yoink. Yoink. Yeah, I'm sure it can't, and it won't for too much longer. We'll fight a whole bunch of you guys, and then they're gonna form together, and then we're gonna go fight Adam, is what we're gonna do. No. And then, like, we're gonna cut him open, and then Eve is gonna emerge from him, which, you know, I suppose matches with the religious kind of lore. This cannot continue. Yeah, I heard. Something tells me that it cannot continue. Something tells me. It's just a little bit of a hunch, though. Like, don't quote me on that, but I feel like maybe this cannot continue. You know. We're playing red light, green light, and it's red light. Alright, go form a big circle. Well, not a circle, a sphere. You know what I mean. You know, doing this would presumably take, like, a while. Those guys aren't fast as we established in the opening of this route. They can't exactly move very fast. So I think it's funny to imagine that we just, like, stood there and watched as they, like, formed this over the course of what you would presume is a while and not as fast as they did it in the cutscene. Ew, gross!
An android?
No, this is a machine.
Yeah, it's just that little speck of crap at the end when you think you're done and your body's like, nope, you're still this tiny smidge more. That's what that was. Warning. Adam! Alright, he's gonna keep on healing. Alright, we're gonna do it even faster than before. Because again, his levels are set. Or something. Good question. I would just not fight if we could, but I don't think that that's an option, so. You know. Alright. You want to maybe not do... Ow. Laser. Bam. Alright, now you're down here. Alright, yeah. Now I have a much better understanding of, you know, your moves and stuff like that. So, I mean, whoops. I just, like, counter-hacked. Gotta remember, I don't have a strong attack here. Get Stabberooed! Double stabbed! And he obviously understands pain as well. Pretty evidently.
Is this?
So why were we able to stab and kill them before? But this first time that we stab and seemingly kill them, just forms another new Dudo. I wonder. I know at the end of, like, final boss of Route A, we stab Mr. Dudo through the head. But the first guy, Adam,
Damn it, not
we stab him
another
through the
one.
chest and then, like, cut out through the side. You know? So, maybe we'll get answers as this adventure goes on. We shall see. We shall see what comes of it, I suppose. They're totally dead there. There's no way they survived that, right? Alright, do I remember the route up now? Okay, it's just, like, straight ahead. Is all it is. Nothing all that crazy. Whee! I wonder what happens if you actually stay here. Like, is there an actual time limit, or is it just for show? I'm not gonna risk it to find out. I don't really want to go through things again. Well, come on. Okay, didn't lose too much time. I do wonder how much time they give you there anyway. Okay. Oh, that leitmotif, I think I recognize from NieR Replicant as well. Oh,
What the hell just happened?
I think at least.
I know. I've never
I don't
seen a machine
know.
like that before. We better
Yeah, it was
report
pretty
this to command.
crazy. Pretty darn crazy there.
Let's move to an area with better reception so we can contact command.
Sure. Let's do exactly that. Whee! Alright, but yeah, so I guess we go through, like, the general plot beats while playing as 9S and, get some additional information and lore and stuff. So should be able to zoom through things without too much hassle, right? Since we've done it before. Ah! Only 12? These guys aren't really worth yoinking things from then, are they? You are so dang rude. Ow! Darn you. Whee! Away we
Okay,
go.
This is good. We should be able to reach command here.
Neat. Hello?
9S to bunker. Do you copy?
Is your deal on the pizza still valid?
Operator, we just encountered a pair of humanoid machines. We
Yeah.
weren't able to capture
It was
them,
pretty darn
but I have
crazy.
combat data ready for upload.
Understood. Ready to
Yoink.
receive.
Tech
Hopefully we can
manual.
get something out of it.
I can use the tech manual. No, I probably can't, but realistically, I would imagine that I could if I'm a robot, though. If I'm just an android, maybe I could use a tech manual. Maybe it'd be handy to read up on that. What's a tech manual for? I guess we don't really know, but one can imagine it's something useful. So yeah, can I not fast travel as 9S? Sucks to suck. I was about to say, I wonder if I can still do that, like, fish ending as 9S.
Whew. I think we've earned a breather.
Yeah,
Say,
sure
2B,
did.
I was hoping we could talk about our next move. I'm
Where we're
worried
gonna
about the
bring
damage
our
we took in that
ventriloquism
last
skills to
battle
the
with
next level.
machines. Maybe we should return to the resistance camp to resupply and conduct maintenance.
Sure,
All right, let's go back.
You got it.
let's do it. But yeah, again, I think I said this on playthrough 1. That would imply that it would teleport us over there, as opposed to, you know, leave us over here. But, nope, that's not what happens. We have to run it anyway. We have to run on over there. Whee! In terms of other stuff that I can talk about in the meantime. My old truck project, it has 3 main steps to the truck itself
Plant life has
left
claimed most of the
before it'll
central
be
area.
legally drivable.
Big plants too.
Replace the master cylinder, which is the thing that holds the brake fluid. Replace the windows, and put the tires back on. Is the case. I can go ahead and quick save in this area.
Wonder if there are any
And
huge
the most
boars and
tricky
such,
thing is
too.
probably just going to be, like, in terms of stuff that we'd be doing, is replacing the master cylinder. We'd be getting crystal glass to do the glass part. So I have there's a mechanic out at the Lake Village that my family has a cabin at. that's willing to help out, that would know how to replace this kind of thing, and has like the specialized tools required to get in there and replace that kind of thing. So yoink. Okay, I can go right through here. So gonna be enlisting his help and doing that. But there's also, you know, a bunch of friendos of mine that are interested in this project that don't have any technical expertise for it or anything, but will be interested in working on an old vehicle like that. And, you know, are on my mental list to ask if ever something comes up that could use extra help or might be fun to do together and stuff like that. Because it's like a fun gathering then as well. So I asked this mechanic, like, oh, is this a job that would be, like, easier with more people working on it? Or would it not make all that much of a difference in, like, your confined space like that? I was like, oh, well, you know, the more the merrier. Like, more hands makes light work, or whatever the heck the expression is. And apparently he's always eager to, you know, teach people that are, you know, interested in learning about that kind of skill set and stuff. So, invite a couple friendos. Since it's going on over at my cousin's place, I'm kind of doing it with the older of my cousin's 2 kids. It seems like the total people in that garage will be myself, this mechanic from the lake, the older of my cousin's kids, one of my childhood germbilingual friends, and my neighbor. So, it's gonna be like 5 of us in there as a thing. And I have other people on like my mental list that would be interested in working on that kind of thing. But 5 people in the one garage, that's already a bit of a crowd, you know. So, for next task. So, we're gonna have what I'm calling the Master Cylinder Party sometime in January. Is the plan. Ready a room for you. Wow, thank you. So, that's gonna be something going on here coming up. So we'll get that master cylinder replaced. Maybe we'll be able to put on the tires in the same sessions, because I have the tires, just haven't put them on yet, because it'll be easier to get the master cylinder that away. Very big. Yeah. Guess there's no point turning it down. Sure isn't. So I don't, like, we did this before. I don't think it actually did anything, though. I'll do it again, just because. So yeah, I have a... It's just saving again. So yeah, master cylinder party coming up. I guess it's like the option for save and quit, is what it is, basically. It's 1 in the morning. Do I want to go much farther? Maybe we'll keep on going a bit. So we go here, and I think we get a call. I think is what's going on. Right. Hello.
Operator to 9S.
That's me.
This is 9S. Go ahead.
I have an incoming message for 2B and 9S from the commander.
Oh,
Initiating
cool.
playback.
I love messages.
2B,
Oh,
9S.
fighting things.
We've lost contact with several Yorha units that were on their way to the surface.
So this is the
Their
carnival
black
thing, right?
boxes are online,
Well, I can
so
always
we
go do
presume
that.
they're still alive. We've tracked the location
Right.
of their signals, so I need all Yorha units on the surface to head over and investigate.
I gotta go to the carnival.
End transmission.
So yeah, that's
I
over
heard
there.
Something about that back at the resistance camp.
Target location confirmed. I'm worried
Okay.
about the other androids. We should probably check this out as soon as possible.
But yeah, with this being a repeat playthrough, we should be able to ham through. Is that an expression to be able to speed through? I mixed up phrases of like going ham on something, you know. But we should be able to, you know, get through it in, you know, pretty timely manner and stuff. You know, we did playthrough 1 in under 10 hours. When I was reading online, it was estimated that playthrough 1 would take
Looks
about like
our
20.
surface route's been cut off. Maybe we can get through from underground.
Yep, that's what we do.
So
So playthrough 2 here
those
should be able to be
machines out
done
in
a
the
lot
desert look
faster,
just
especially
like androids, right?
now that we have the
Right.
funds for,
But we
you know,
androids were
lots of
modeled
healing
after
items
our
and
human
stuff.
creators. So
Suppose
why
that
were
one Adam and
machines
Eve
tied to
boss
look like us?
Adam and Eve boss battle where I
There's no point trying to work out unsolvable problems.
didn't really have all the
suppose.
healing items that I needed, and I kept having to retry over and over again because of that. Cutscene, what's going on? What is this?
This is Tactical Support Unit Pod
Is
042.
that the answer to my
Control has
question?
been assigned to 2B.
This is Tactical Support Unit Pod 153.
Nice to meet you.
Control has been assigned to 9S.
Okay.
Combat data exchange requested.
Exchange accepted.
Proposal. Data should be exchanged regularly for greater efficiency.
It totally should.
Proposal accepted. Data will be exchanged regularly for greater efficiency.
Sounds like a good
End
plan.
Communication.
What is it? It's just them talking and being like, we're gonna exchange combat data more often, is all that was? Well, okay, I guess our drones are exchanging combat information more frequently now. I don't know how that affects gameplay at all. Unless our drones are plotting against us, or our pods are plotting against us, and they're gathering information on us to use against us, or something like that, and that's what that's hinting at, and that's what the purpose of that was. I don't know. Oh, this is gonna be more important.
The machines called them treasures. Each treasure had a different shape. Each treasure